Established in 1985, the Non-Governmental Gender Organizations Coordinating Council, NGOCC, has changed its role from coordinator to focal point of the women's movement in Zambia. NGOCC currently has a membership of 103 organizations that it supports in capacity building, networking, advocacy, and communication in the field of gender and development. NGOCC's vision is a society where women fully participate and benefit from social, economic, political, and cultural development. The organization is superintended by the board, who provide policy guidelines to the Secretariat through the senior management team. According to the organizational structure, the executive director is the head of the Secretariat, and in its 36 years of existence, the NGOCC has so far been headed by two executive directors, Grace Munyonga and Engwase Mwale, who is now the outgoing executive director. Having diligently served the organization for the last 17 years, Engwase Mwale bows out of the helm of the organization that is now known as the focal point of the women's movement. Engwase has been instrumental in providing strategic leadership to the NGOCC, making it one of the most outstanding civil society organizations in Zambia. During her tenure, she has championed advocacy towards women empowerment, contributing to, among other things, the enactment of gender-sensitive and responsive laws such as the Gender Equity and Equality Act, GEEA. Engwase was very instrumental as part of the broader civil society to push for constitutional reforms in the country. As executive director, Engwase ensured sustainability of NGOCC. Through her innovative and visionary leadership, NGOCC today boasts of owning properties in Lusaka and Solwezi. She has built the organizational profile to attract a number of cooperating partners, currently with 10 active donors. NGOCC members of staff recollect some of the moments working under Engwase's leadership.
I have been working with her, and of course, I would say my work has been a success, not because of my skills that I have, not because of the knowledge that I have, but because of the direction, the guidance that I've been getting from Madam Engwase. So for that, I'll remember her, and I think I'll miss her, because though she's not my immediate supervisor, but I know because of the knowledge that she has about NGOCC and about my work, I have had a lot of interactions with her, and she has assisted me a lot. Madam Engwase has been trying by all means that as much as we talk about the issues that affect the women as an organization, NGOCC, she asks that everything that we talk about should begin with us. So begin with our families, and then we can work very well with the rest of the people. But not only to do with women's rights or any other issues, maybe for example GBV, but even when it comes to personal growth, you know, she has been so much helpful, and every time, you know, trying by our means to bring in people that would come and talk to us, not only about the work that we do, but also about how we are supposed to live and be very good examples in the community.
I'll miss her leadership style. Yeah, she's a good leader, very down to earth. You know, she had a way of, you know, bringing us together as a team, and just creating, she just had a special way of creating that conducive environment, you know, and using a participatory approach to ensure that everyone, regardless of, you know, their position in the organization, could be able to contribute and offer their opinion without being intimidated by her position. So for me, really, that really stood out in her leadership style. So I'll surely miss her energy. Yeah, she's very energetic, and her emphasis to all of us, to be result-oriented in everything that we do really cannot be overemphasized. So it has helped us grow, both at individual level and even at organizational development. She's inspired me a lot. Like I said, I'm an accountant, but I think over time, when I'm sent, to attend some of the NGOCC meetings out there, to interact with other partners, something that has always come out, people say, you don't look like an accountant, you don't talk like an accountant when you're discussing, issues to do with maybe women's movement and everything. Yeah. So for me, I've gotten that inspiration from her. Like, I've been able to come out and just be open-minded, to learn outside just learning figures that I'm trained to do. Actually, I've broadened up and I've learned so much even with regards to the gender issues and issues that are impacting on women, because her passion really for women's empowerment is admirable. So I've been inspired so much by her. So going forward, I've even told myself, okay, when I complete my master's in finance, I would even consider doing something, to do with social sciences, just to add to my career. She pays so much attention to detail. She's not a person that will just give documents and she'll just, endorse her signature. She'll scrutinize and ensure that everything is okay. So because of that, it has helped me a lot, because maybe previously, there are times where you just let things pass and you think everything is okay, and then, you get comments from her. So because of that, it also helped me to start paying even more attention to detail, because I know that if I don't scrutinize, ED is going to scrutinize and she's not going to let it pass. Yeah, so there were such moments where she would get upset about it. So you put your signature here and there's this that is missing or this that is not adding up, ABCD, but it really worked well. Yeah, it really worked well for me, because it has helped me grow and even, look at things from a different perspective. Yeah.
Yes, I do have great memories about this wonderful woman, yes, who's been like a sister and a mother. To me in particular, I think she's very caring. I remember when I just met, I didn't even know we go to the same church, so I think we just kicked it off from the word go. She's someone you can relate to. She's able to relate with anybody at any level, and I think she's touched me in particular on a personal level. I think she's been there in my personal life and in my work life and church life, yes. I've learned her leadership skills. It's not an easy thing, but she has not shown any, she has not relented. I know she has faced difficult moments and times. She has never shown that, none. So I think she's very brave. I think her bravery is what I'm going to pick from her as ED here at NGOCC.
For me, Engwase is someone who really pushes people around to be, self-confident, assertive, and work outside the box. You need to come up with new ideas of doing things rather than doing routine things every other day. So otherwise, she capacity built all of us, regardless of who you are in the organization, starting from the caretaker up to the very top. Engwase is a go-getter, she's a mentor, she's a people person. She gets very well with everybody, regardless of their status in society. Such that even when you are in a group, you wouldn't know that you are with the executive director. So that's Engwase. She mentored me in so many ways and pushed me to do even very hard assignments. And she doesn't take no for an answer. So when you are given a hard assignment, you really have to put yourself in that. So I'll miss her for that. But yeah, that was part of capacity building.
So what I would say is that Engwase's leadership style is that of embracing everyone, regardless of the position and all. Because she believed that in every person there was something that has not yet emerged, and she worked towards bringing out that greatness in each and every person. What I'll miss about Engwase Mwale, in her vocabulary, there's nothing like it cannot be done. For her, she believes that everything can be done. Even when you present something to her and you say, Madam, I don't think this can be done, she'll just tell you, no, it has to be done. Find a way of how you can do it. So what am I saying? What I'm saying is she always looks at the positive side of everything, and says everything can be done. Learning from her is the energy that she has, the resilience, the positivity in everything that comes her way. So that, I think, will help me a lot in my life, because instead of looking at the negatives, focus on the positives and move on.
Madam Engwase Mwale was our boss here, but to me, I don't look at her as my boss. He was more like my mother. He was my mentor. He was also a friend because of the way he interacted with me personally. It was not more of a boss, but of a friend. Because even in difficult times, I was looking up to her. In whatever situation that I found myself, I was looking up to her. NGOCC is more like my home, because I spend most of the hours here with Madam Engwase. So I'll miss her motherly heart. I'll miss her supervision. I will miss her mentorship, because she has mentored me from the moment I came here to now. Even those who knew me before, they would say, indeed, you have been mentored. Because right now, I don't even look for someone to supervise me for as long as I'm here at NGOCC, because of that mentorship that I have received from Madam Engwase. So indeed, for me, I will miss Madam Engwase. Only that we can't change things. When things happen, it has happened, and it is her time to go and do other things. So when I came here, what I knew that I'm going to NGOCC to be cleaning NGOCC offices. But when I came here, Madam Engwase said, you are not here to clean offices. You are here to contribute to the women movement. Right now, I can even sit at the reception. She has empowered me in so many areas. For instance, I was taken for a course for office assistant. I was taken for a course for gender. So for that, I will miss Madam Engwase Mwale.
Nali Chaziba is Action Aid Executive Director, and she too, being in civil society, has worked with Engwase on numerous occasions.
I describe Engwase as a groundbreaking example of leadership and women leadership in the development arena. Not only is she a leader, but her leadership style is one that epitomizes mentorship, as well as she was very collaborative and very knowledgeable, and was always there to help, support, as well as provide mentorship to upcoming leaders. I was very lucky to have worked under her as head of communications and advocacy at NGOCC. And when I joined, she took me under her mentorship and ensured that I rose through the ranks to becoming a country director for an international INGO. And that's the kind of woman we are talking about. And she led NGOCC at a time when women's rights were not fully recognized in this country. And even just to bring the gender agenda on the table, it was always seen to be more of a women's issue, women trying to take over power from men. But she would really manage to break those patriarchal thinking as well as structures. And under her leadership, that is the first time that Zambia got the Anti-Gender-Based Violence Act in 2011. And she was very instrumental in pushing for that act and ensuring that Zambia has a law that is able to deal with issues of gender-based violence, in realizing how gender-based violence gets to affect more women than men. And it's deeply rooted in our patriarchal as well as the nature of society that we have as a country.
NGOCC board chairperson Mary Mlenga shares the fond memories of working with Engwase during her tenure.
Engwase, well, something that is very obvious about her is that she's a very hardworking person. We won't even say she was, because I think that is a character and nature that she carries even as she goes, to her next, working space. Very hardworking. So her precision on things, she actually liked, to see things being done. I guess she knew, because when it comes to the board meetings, the board, and especially me, I read. So I would actually point out all the errors and whatever. And I think she made sure that the reports that the board, got were very well done. Little did I know that she actually put in a lot herself. Something that was noticeable when she wasn't around, that the reports were not as perfect, if I can say that, as when she was around. So I came to conclude that I think she covered a lot for her staff. So that's something. So she's somebody who is, very subtle, I think, in the way she works. I think Engwase, and perhaps which is something I came to discover much, much later in my interactions with her, is that she's a very prayerful person. I think her prayer life, speaks a lot about her character, and her nature. And because of that, she, carries that, sort of motherly, attribute. Or 17 years in an organization is a very long time. And obviously she did create a lot of impact. And like I keep saying, I think the way she worked with people, she had a people, skills. I think the same message that I put in, do you call it a reference, for where she is going? I said, I hope and expect that Engwase will maintain the same professionalism, the same steam, the same zeal that she had for NGOCC for 17 years as she comes, to your, organization. And believe you me, when I talk about somebody who is dedicated, to what they do, Engwase is one. Because even in what I call the dying minutes, as she is preparing, she was preparing the handovers, it was the same steam, the same precision. And we had an executive committee meeting where she was telling us how she has, done the handovers with a new ED, and how she has, and everything, is very precise. After 17 years, somebody still feels that she has to work on a Saturday so that she gets everything done for this new person. My God, that can only come from someone who's dedicated and loves what they do. And to say that for Engwase, it wasn't a job, it was a calling.
In her 17 years of working for the NGOCC, Engwase Mwale has hit some notable milestones. She propelled the NGOCC to recognizable levels of financial stability and strategic inclination. She enhanced the credibility and voice of influence around its mandate. The NGOCC remains one of the good practice examples of good governance and management systems. Over the years, there has been better cohesion in nurturing of cross-sector learning among NGOCC members, working in consortiums for ownership and drive by the members. Over the last 17 years, NGOCC has adopted a powerful media coverage and attention as a result of its relationship building and networking abilities. NGOCC has continued to create a good environment for human capital, professional nurturing, and growth through mentorship of skills and leadership potential. Engwase's contribution to the NGOCC speak for themselves through long-standing partnerships with some donors who support NGOCC programs such as the Swedish Embassy.
It's been a very good experience working with Engwase, and I must say that I've known Engwase from my years working in civil society over 13 years ago. It's the first time I met Engwase. And with the embassy, we started working very closely with Engwase in 2016.
when we supported a coordinated approach to women's political participation. So we did a small project, and then in 2018 we signed an agreement for core support to NGOCC. So I would say that since 2018, really, that's when we've worked closely with Engwase, and we've had a very good working relationship, very good partnership with Engwase. In terms of the support that we provide to NGOCC, I think Engwase has been very, very committed to the organization, always willing to learn, listening to the suggestions that we have as a partner, and always eager to support the embassy even outside of the support that we give. So if we have visitors coming from Sweden, they could be from the Swedish government or any other organization, she's always available to come and meet and also share about the experiences working around gender equality in Zambia. So she has been, I think, one of our good partners in terms of the work in Zambia. We have seen Engwase interact with people at the highest levels in the country, with the president, and then at local level with communities. She's very, very, very comfortable. So that is a good attribute. Another attribute, I think, is the ability to really look at gender equality and not just see it as a women's issue, and to not only focus on the so-called women's issues, but to be able to engage in broader development issues. I think that's something that Engwase has done very well. We've seen her participate in work around elections, around the environment, around the well-being of civil society in general. For example, the work around the NGO bill. So I think we've seen Engwase and NGOCC be very consistent about some of the advocacy issues that they've been pursuing over the years. I think as Engwase leaves NGOCC, the timing is good. I think she's left NGOCC at a point where the organization is quite strong. I believe that she has developed a certain amount of stability and capacity within the organization. And I think because of the way that Engwase has led the organization and has been able to interact with people from different sectors, even though she's moving away from NGOCC, I think she'll remain very much a part of the movement. So it doesn't feel that it is a loss, so to say, to NGOCC. I think she has been very passionate about gender and women's issues, so she's still around, only perhaps in a different space. So we wish her well, we wish NGOCC well, and the embassy will continue to support NGOCC in the promotion of gender equality.
During my time and with my predecessors, and as the Embassy of Sweden to Zambia, be working very closely with NGOCC and with Engwase herself. And that is also because gender equality, women's rights have been one of the highest priority areas of our engagement, both in terms of development cooperation, and NGOCC is a partner to us, but also in terms of public diplomacy and part of our drive for democracy and under the Swedish feminist foreign policy. Engwase, you have been an excellent representative for NGOCC. You have been a great partner to Sweden in our dialogue. We just the last week had a great talk on women's political participation at my residence, which included my foreign minister. So Engwase, you have really put forward and in the forefront the issues that are very close to my heart and to my government. And bravo to you. All the very best. I'm sure that your voice will continue to be heard. And I'm especially happy that one of your maybe last appearances was together with our foreign minister last Wednesday at my residence. So all the very, very best. Just keep doing what you are doing, and you do this with ease, with professionalism, with a very constructive approach, which I think leads to great results. All the very best to you, Engwase, in your future endeavors. And I'm sorry to miss this great occasion to bid you farewell. I am going to Luapula, so when this is shown, greetings from Luapula.
Goodbye, Engwase, we miss you. Engwase Mwale has left an indelible mark at the NGOCC, looking at all these achievements that have been made under her leadership.